for being part. It is 29 minutes past the hour of 8 in the morning. It is the second hour of the show. A morning Kickstarter that is definitely dedicated to giving you information as far as business is concerned. Well, I did mention something earlier before we actually headed into a break, how we were going to be having a report from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. So, breaking it down in this perspective. The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries has rolled out a plan. This plan is to mechanize the agricultural sector through the provision of tractors to replace the ox plows that are used especially in rural areas. Now, to improve crop or food production in the region, the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries launched a partnership with the Chankwanzi district leadership, and a tractor has been given to the district for improved service delivery through increased exportation and also helping the smallholder farmers. The permanent secretary to the Ministry of Finance, General Kasura, indicated that 70% of the Ugandans are in agriculture, yet it only produces 25% of the GDP, now, which is still inefficient, and that is why there is improvement in technology through mechanization. So currently, when you look at this, 21 square miles of land are available in districts like Chankwanzi. However, only 12% of these are utilized, and this is due to poor mechanization. So in June, Frank Tumwebaze, who monitored Toro sub-region on the progress of the implementation of the government projects, during which he commissioned and handed over agriculture equipment to farmers under the agro-industrialization for local economic development, the AgriLD program. So the program is a 100 billion shilling presidential initiative which was piloted in Rwenzori region to spur economic development in that particular region through agro-industrialization in regions of Kasese, Bunyagambu, Kabarole, Chegwega, Chenjojo, Ntoronko, Wundibudio, Kamwenge, Fort Portal City, and Kasese municipality. So our next report is looking at how government plans to mechanize agriculture as an effort, that is actually being looked at as a way of helping out the household or the small farmers and money from their particular sweat. Let's have the details of this one.
I also get a commission from the buyer, which is actually wrong. They also said we usually too many.
All right, now we're going to the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, as they have actually been pushing for the commercialization of agriculture up country, and later on we shall be having that particular one of the SMB, no comment. But for now, we have a report from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries.
Earlier today in Kampala, the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, in a plan to mechanize the agricultural sector, delivered one tractor to Brigadier General Charles Chisembo, the Director of National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi, to help the institute grow its production capacity. The permanent secretary to the Ministry of MAIF, General Kasura, indicated that 70% of Ugandans are in agriculture, yet it only produces 25% of the GDP, which is still inefficient. That's why there is improvement in technology through mechanization.
70% of our people are in agriculture. However, agriculture now produces 25% of the GDP. The implication here is that there is some efficiency problems within agriculture. That is why we are emphasizing, through the guidance of the Minister and His Excellency the President, the issue of improving the technology that we are using for agriculture. Mechanization is one of the elements of this improvement of this technology.
Currently, 21 square miles of land are available in districts like Chankwanzi. However, only 12% of these are utilized, and this is due to poor mechanization.
Types of people. We are partnering with the large-scale producers, as the Minister will tell you, who are going to help us to really produce massively crops like maize, crops like cotton, crops like cassava in some instances, the crops which can be grown at a large scale. But we are not forgetting the small-scale, intensive producers. The large-scale producers will be used will be producing extensively, as they call it. The small-scale producers will be producing intensively high-value crops on small pieces of land. We have appropriate mechanization for both sets of producers. In this instance, because Chankwanzi today sits on about 21 square miles of land, but occupies 12, we really think we can partner very well with them for this.
Vast land you have, you can dedicate, let's say, 3 to 5 square miles of land. Because you see, a large-scale landowner can do both intensive and extensive. So, you people with small land, people will ask you, where do I get the food? So Chankwanzi or Kaweweta or Nshar or any other institution of government or even church. There are some church institutions with big land. So if you produce on a large scale, let's say maize, you can start producing animal feed. You can start producing animal feed and you sell that to the smallholder farmers.
The institute is one of the leading producers of maize and needed such equipment to ease harvest, among other challenges, to replace ox ploughs used, especially in rural areas.
We are going to tap on their technical skill because they have the knowledge, they have technical people with whom we are going to work to implement the projects that we shall have decided. For example, they are planning to help us with giving us better animal breeds. They are talking of better seeds, better silos that we can use as an institute. And of course food, and money as well.
In June, Frank Tumwebaze traversed Toro sub-region on the progress of implementation of government projects, during which he commissioned and handed over agricultural equipment to farmers under the Agro-Industrialization for Local Economic Development Program. The program is a 100 billion Ugandan shillings presidential initiative piloted in Rwenzori region to spur economic development in the region through agro-industrialization in districts of Kasese, Chitagwenda, Bunyangabu, Kabarore, Chegegwa, Chenjojo, Ntoroko, Bundibujo, Kamwenge, Fort Portal City, and Kasese municipality.
All right, and that particular move is to see that there is a commercialization of agriculture. It is one of the key pillars of the national budget this very year. So it is something that we would definitely look at and think of how the government will be benefiting from that. Now, we're heading on ground with Barije Andrew, who is apparently in the taxi park, and he will be giving us which taxi park he is currently, whether it's in the new one or the old taxi park, to at least give us a feel of what is actually happening there. Now, we want to understand the issue to do with old vehicles. Remember, URA did release a new guideline on the old vehicles and how they will be coming into the country, something that most of these particular taxi operators are using most of these old vehicles, by the way. So Barije Andrew is on ground to tell us, Barije Andrew is actually going to be on ground to tell us more of the situations as they are happening. All right, but Barije Andrew, good morning and thank you for joining us this morning. Can you please tell us what is happening on ground where you are?
Thank you very much, Joram Paul Sonko. We are just right here at the Old Taxi Park at Mukono B Costa Stage, and today we are talking pollution on the old vehicles. According to the recent reports, Kampala carries the most pollution compared to all the cities in the world, and this has been largely attributed to old vehicles that are being imported into the country. And right here we are at the Old Taxi Park, where majority of the vehicles here are very, very old vehicles. So we want to get the different opinions of the different participants that are driving these cars. What's their take about the government decision about getting rid of the old vehicles? But also we need to discuss and balance up the topic with what about the pollution side of it? How come the old cars come into the country, but at the same time the environment is being preserved? And I'm going to meet a few gentlemen right here on this very stage, and we are going to share matters concerning what's really taking place. I'm going to find out what's their take. Sebo Geraleko.
Kale Sebo.
kwatire amanya go gwani sebo
manya gange nze Sali Abdulaziz chairman Mengo nga nze pyara owa Odi Park mulamu oguliwo twogera ku butonde bwansi obutonde bwensi ne moroke enkadde already zitulina nsi yaffe egenda ekula bukuzi tetugambye nti yakula dda tulyoke tube ne moroke enkadde kubanga kati bakatandika n'okutuleetera drone ne tubaddenga ne kaberegeza ffe binisani kalawuli kati tulina ogenda nga tubalansinga mpola paka lwe tunatuuka ku mutindo ogw'ensi eno lwansonga nti nno obutonde bw'ensi ffena tubwagala oba olaba tulwanyisa obuveera tulwanyisa buli kimu ekyonoona obutonde bw'ensi nakino eky'omukka kijja kutuuka gavumenti nga bwetuteekeddemu amaanyi kuba tusanga gavumenti teekeremu amaanyi moroka ezo bazikendeza omusolo ezijja okutukolera obulungi zino drone new model batukolera omusolo nga naffe kubanga kati ssaawa zino omwavu akwatayo obukadde bwe 10 n'agulayo ekimoroka kali bw'omugamba nti okijjawo olw'obutonde bw'ensi ye tamanyi na butonde bwansi kyeki kuba yalaba bukeera ne buziba ne bukya kati bw'omugamba obutonde bw'ensi agamba sivuga moroka yange naye ng'ate buweebuli lazima bulina okukolebwako abantu ne tweyagalira mu nsi yaffe osanga n'okulwala singa tetulwala nnyo naye tuyinza okuba tulwala olw'embeera ey'omukka bano abookya kasasiro amala gookyera buli wamu tetumanyi bye bikosa n'amasimu nago galina obutonde bw'ensi kubanga gundi zaago olwaba bw'ogikwatako bw'oti bagamba ereeta omuliro ku sikweni kuli endala zaabikira mu mpale kati byonna gavumenti ebirwanyise ebikadde nnyo egere ng'ebijjamu mpola tufune ebintu ebiri ku mutindo naye mpola kubanga tetusobola kukulaakulana mu lunaku lumu sebo webali nnyo webalire
kakati katutunulire omuntu avuga emmotoka kwegamba zina motoka enkadde we ziba zivuddewo kuba empya kyemmanyi za bbeeyiko tolaba nti wajja kubaawo engeri gye kinyigirizaamu abamu abali mu eno bizinesi eya transportation
ekyo kirina okutunyigiriza lwa nsonga nti ne kaberege bwe zajja era bwe zaali zivaawo twanyigirizibwa naye nga zaavaawo mu mpola kubanga zino emmotoka we zikaddiwa bazitema kaakati bwe bagenda batema ng'empya we zikola ki bwe zisembera ne tutanyigirizibwa mulundi gumu gavumenti gamba nti enkya emmotoka eziri ku namba gundi zonna mugende bazitema oba oleesa obwavu mu bantu kubanga olwaire covid yatukuba obwavu kati n'obutonde bw'ensi bwe bulajja butukuba obwavu tubukwata empola tulabike nti tutuuka gye tulaga ssebo
ogambye gwe PRO
wa Odi Park chairman wa Mengo Rubaga Odi Park era essebo
Franzanyo Sebo. Yes, we've been talking with the PRO of the Rubaga stage, and today we are talking pollution. We are getting more opinions, what people think about this particular topic. Sebo jebaleko. Twogera ku nsonga y'okuba nti emmotoka enkadde n'obutonde gwe ekya gavumenti okubanga egenda kuwera zino emmotoka enkadde okyogerako kingaalimu eno business ya transportation.
Neyanziza amanya mwebaze Moses ndi mwogezi w'ekibiina kya Unified Medium Omnibus Drivers Operators Limited. Ekibiina ekyo kyekikulembera zino zicosters z'olaba zino zipakinze wano. Ffe tetuli bamativu na nkola eyo naye waliwo ensonga lwaki tuvuga emmotoka enkadde. Kisooka kya byonna gavumenti yasibye emmotoka zaffe zino tezikyayingira mu ggwanga. Oba oliawo singa emmotoka nga bwe zaali zijja edda singa empya zijja oba oliawo singa emmotoka zino mpya tuyina empya ze tuvuga naye kati tuvuga zino mmotoka nkadde naye ekizibu siffe ekizibu ye gavumenti yalemererwa okuvaayo kunnyonnyola abantu lwaki emmotoka zino yazisiba obutajja naye singa zijja ne ziyingira empya singa tuyina emmotoka empya ffe twali badde tugamba bwe tutyo nga ffe abali mu transport industry gavumenti ekkiriza emmotoka zaffe zino kubanga gye ziri ziyingira naffe tugule emmotoka empya tusobole ovuga emmotoka empya naffe tetwagala vuga emmotoka nkadde ssebo ensonga eyo
kakati twogere kuba bagamba ensonga ezimu ku nsonga lwaki baagala oziwera zoonoona obutonde omukka gwazo gwekyo okyogerako ki
ekyo sirisuwa ku ekyo ebintu bingi ebyonoona obutonde katugeze nti omuntu asobola okuba nga atambula anywedde amazzi n'asuula akacupa wabweru oba akaveera n'ekyo nakyo kisobola okwonoona obutonde naye balema okutunuulira nti omukka gw'emmotoka zino bintu bingi bisobola okwonoona obutonde gavumenti byeremereddwa okuteekawo enkola esobola okutaasa obutonde bwaffe bibyo ebimu byolaba ebibira babitemye tewakyali wantu wona twalina ebibira wano kati tetukyalina bibira mabira ogirabira awo naye nga kumpi wano weekiri naye ere mabega wonna baazimba buli kimu kyonna bakimalawo naye ng'emmotoka omukka gwazo siri shuwa naye nga bingi olwaleero obucupa ogenda n'obulaba mu zipakisi mu makuba awalala gavumenti tefuddeyo okutaasa obutonde kati yetunuulidde kino naye nga kino si kituufu era tusaba gavumenti eveeyo n'enkola endala ffe tulangisaba gavumenti ereeta emmotoka endala ekkiriza emmotoka ziyingire naffe tufugye ku mmotoka empya esebo
Anzizanyo Sebo. Yes, we are talking pollution today. Most of these vehicles, like the propaganda, not the propaganda, but like the saying comes, that they contribute to the pollution of the country. And remember that one of the greatest backbones of the country is agriculture. And once the climate is polluted, it will affect the backbone of the country. I've been Barije Andrew right here in the oldie taxi park, assessing the pollution impact. The assessment of the pollution side of it, we see its effect on the transportation business in Uganda, because majority of these people drive very old vehicles which are being attributed to pollution. Let's get back to studio with Joram Paul Sonko. I'm Barije Andrew.
Particular contextual feel of details regarding the taxi park. Most of the vehicles in there, or most of the taxis, I do believe for some of us who do use them, and some of you who also use these particular taxis, can actually feel the pinch in that particular situation and in particular regard. That it's quite obvious and quite something that we would wish not to live in, but at the moment, according to the URA guidelines of old vehicles, of eliminating the old vehicles, there's some guidelines that need to be followed, and that is a report that has actually been brought aboard by Barije Andrew in that particular perspective. Well, and we hope that in the journey or in the long run, things will be changing with time to come. We are expecting that pretty much exporting vehicles in the country cannot feel the pinch in the long run, because earlier on, if we are to run back to our updates that we're actually running, most of them are actually claiming that now there are very few customers already on the market, which is actually making life very unbearable for some of them. They're not making the sales, fuel prices are high, Ugandans have decided not to buy the vehicles, those with the vehicles have decided to park them home, opt for public transport. And breaking it down in such a situation makes it even more difficult to actually move on with that particular perspective. All right. Now, at the top of the hour, we are going to be discussing brokers in the real estate sector. But before that, we have the SMB no comment. Pretty much a situation where we're looking at still the brokers and what do you need to know about paying commission, and how you have to settle down with these brokers before you go buy anything, or before you at least go and get a loan or apply for a mortgage. What are those key things that you need to know? Let's have the SMB no comment.
The seller, I also get a commission from the buyer, which is actually wrong. They also said we usually too many on the properties. For example, they said that you can go to close a property, then when you at the real agreement, 10 others come up, and we've seen this, 10 other brokers come up. So when you count all the 10 brokers, you know, everyone has to take some money, everyone has to take some money. So they end up usually fighting, but because of the commission, because there are quite many. Then the sellers, again, they had a problem with the sellers or the clients, ask the clients, when we give them properties, we determine, one, we do not want to pay the commission. But if we pay it, it is very low. If it is not very low, we set for them the commission. You've sold a property of 100 million, and they said that the boss will come and give you 100,000. And they were not happy with that. So for them, they come up with their commission. We had land wrangles as a challenge. And the land wrangles, under land wrangles, we had fake land titles. There were so many fake land titles. You go to Ministry of Lands, they get a title. How? I do not know. But they also said that there was bureaucracy in the land registration. Because of the delay in the land registration, it gets people into a mix. That's where the theft starts from, because it has actually delayed. Then they also said that real estate relatives and quack brokers convene and sell land, especially family land or customary land, fraudulently. By the time the right family person comes, the land has already been sold, and you get into a what? A land wrangle, which would not have come. They also said that there's the police, the land desk in police is so corrupt. So it has also increased the land wrangles or land conflicts. It is about money, not who is actually genuinely the owner.
You guys, if you don't know the place that you're looking for, trust me, brokers are well encouraged to get this money. I can defend this 100% because I actually have research about it from Nairobi. Nairobi, they're actually getting 3% from the seller and 5% from the buyer. You see, you don't know the property. I don't know why clients have really insisted on saying that we will not pay the broker, but you don't know the property. You don't know the person that is buying this property. You see, it's becoming a big deal. They are calling guys thugs, and actually, to me, I'm proudly saying that I'm a broker, but an executive broker. And truthfully, I don't support the thing of saying that we are getting commissions from both sides. You see, to me, taking the clients to the site for our own sites, because we do not charge the clients inspection fee, we do not. And we have had brokers that have been charging these guys inspection fee and coming to offices, and the guys are complaining, they charge me 50,000 for inspection, but we literally.
All right, and that particular one is a report that was definitely going to be taking us into the break as we wait for our guest. And our guest is also going to be touching on some of these particular issues. Why do these brokers hike fares and commission? Good morning.